Hello, unless I'm mistaken, we should be up and running. I hope. I actually remember to press the go live button today, so just start streaming. So hopefully that is progress. Let's see if we are actually up and running before we start clicking buttons. Hello, BKK. Yeah, sorry about that. It is a new game though, so I'm gonna enjoy it as much as possible. That is good to hear. I think I've gotten the bitrate issues fixed, hopefully. But yeah, there is a new guide out just now. Took a bit longer than I expected. It's not very polished. The thumbnail is not great and anything like that. But it is a quick guide on how you can basically, before Baku, turn the AlphaTauri into potentially the 5th best car on the grid. And we haven't really been taking advantage of that for the McLaren save here, so we might just do that in this session right now. So I'm discovering new things, and I'll be making play as much as you want. I will fix. There's only 24 in a day. Yeah, there is only 24 hours in a day, true. But yeah, we are back, and we can continue, do a little bit before Spa. We'll have to see if it gets we actually get the race going today. Apparently it's been a rainy morning, so looking forward to seeing what actually happens there. Okay, stream seems to be running well. Then we are ready. Okay, let's get right into it. So what I showed in the video, I'm just going to go over real quick here, is that actually a good way of developing your car. We've probably actually used it here without me just remembering, because it has been a few Sumi days for me, is that if you maximize 2 stats, for instance, you can get a pretty massive boost here with pretty minimal losses. And that is a excellent way of improving your car. Say, in this case, our DRS effectiveness, we can basically become the best car, gain a ton of top speed. And this 3 parts in particular with that is very good. The front wing, the rear wing, the suspension. Suspension is mainly just brake cooling in this instance, but as one might imagine, if you do maximize parts like this, you are going to have potentially a very good car rather quickly. As you can see here, we can actually boost our brake cooling by about 7% with barely any losses, as said. So we'll have to see what we do in terms of doing these designs for improving a car. We do have some money. We could do some, again, research here, but generally what I've seen is potentially that it's better to do CFD for research, but at the same time, just go ahead and save. Basically, just wait with the research and power through next season with the sliders. But we'll see. Again, it's very experimental with figuring out what the best strategy is right now, so we'll have to see. Any chance of later in the release from so on in 24 of a rebuilding Alfa Romeo with only Italian driver staff? Building an Italian team to fight Ferrari? That does sound funny though. The Italy challenge. Unless you have a better name, maybe the Scuderia challenge. But yeah, that could be an interesting one for sure. But right now, I'm just going to have a little bit of a look here because I'm curious if we can make something a little bit better, because our engine cooling for the McLaren set is pretty bad. Hello, Skitty. You can't wait for tomorrow, the game to release in fully. But yeah, we'll have to see here what we actually do with this car, because it isn't super great right now. We could have, if I'd followed my own advice that I figured out a little bit later on, had a much better car, but honestly that's not really a problem at this stage. We're looking really good. We can make things happen here. So I'm just going to be experimenting a little bit, as I said, with the sliders before we get going. And this would actually boost our high speed quite a lot. So yeah, I think we're getting to the point where for the rest of the season we might start focusing a little bit for next season, which is kind of weird to say, but honestly, it is probably the best bet that we have at this stage. Again, we are going to be losing some stats due to regulation changes that are going to be hitting us for, let's just double check here so I don't say anything wrong, that are going to be hitting us for high speed downforce, for medium speed and low speed, but apparently we have already kind of combat this. We've already won over this in terms of the front wing. So research might actually be a decent alternative. We do need to do some rear wing work though, and we do need to do some underflow work for sure. Suspension is kind of getting there, but that too needs some work. So we'll have to see exactly what we pull off. Alfa Romeo is impossible to do. Board objective is impossible. Board confidence is low before Monaco. What is the board objective for Alfa Romeo? Because they have Bottas, as I said earlier. Alfa Romeo is probably the biggest challenge because Bottas is the only thing they got going for them. But yeah, good morning, Esther. Hope you're doing well. All is well, yeah. Except for my neighbors who were partying all night, so I barely slept. But we'll make this work. That is also kind of why the current, well, the video that I released is kind of scuffed, but it should still be a good strategy for developing your car. I'm just worried that I was kind of tripping over my own words there, but we'll see. Now, what we are going to be doing with McLaren here, I think, is actually to be a bit passive. Currently, championship standings, we are neck and neck with Alpine. But at the same time, us coming 6th or 5th isn't that big of a deal. So what I am thinking is that we're going to try and focus a little bit on research. I haven't really done anything yet in terms of said research. So I would like to try and focus a little bit into research, see if this actually is viable, because right now it doesn't feel very viable with, as you've seen from that guide, with us being able to just purely focus a design with 2 sliders to the right for maximum gains. And, well, with that in mind, it might be a bit of a weird one for the research here. Apparently, again, we can boost this. This is minimal losses. We might actually just make this. It would make DRS far more efficient. Would make overtakes a bit easier. We'd lose out -1 here, but that is to car number 2, so it's not a concern. We'd also get a decent top speed boost here, so I think we're going to make this rear wing, and then we're going to focus research probably for the next of the season. But it's a show crash all the time. It's still not great. Yeah, Hank Steele, the real quiet cowboy. I love Thanos. But yeah, I think we're going to make this rear wing, and that is actually completely fine. The regulation changes doesn't hit the drag reduction or DRS delta. And again, getting our DRS effectiveness up is going to help us in the long run. So we're going to put 5 engineers on it. We're going to run it in 10s. It'll be done in 30 days. And we'll have it for Lusail. So we'll have it for the last 6 races, which should be okay, honestly. The only thing is that we might move some engineers over from the other project to do a little bit more research. A gerbil, where, when, and how? What? So yeah, we're making side pods and rear wing, and after that we'll start doing some research, I think. So we'll start 3 research projects after these side pods are done, and with these side pods and this rear wing, I think that is the last couple of upgrades that we'll be doing this season. So let us see if we can set ourselves a good goal here. We're going to gamble on getting our boy into Q3 for the next 5 races. We are going to gamble on being in the top 10 for Norris mainly. Piastri could possibly score points, but at the same time, he hasn't had a good track record so far. It's a song with quite interesting, let's say, lyrics. It does sound like that, honestly. I have unfortunately not heard it, Thanos. But yeah, I think we're going to just jump into the race weekend with this, get going. We still have quite a few races left this season. But I think this has been a good learning experience with McLaren, honestly. The Pet Shop Boys. Let us see here. We are in Sandboard, are we not? Yes, we are. I hope. Unless if I'm not, I'm setting up the wrong thing. But I think we're fine. Now I have actually had a lot of again the test save that I'm doing with AlphaTauri on the side, which is basically just a side project trying to get the Boost to be world champion. We have actually won a few races, and we have been challenging Red Bull as basically the 4th best team on the grid. So the way that the game works right now is kind of wonky, honestly. And for sure, Piastri's going to need an extra engine, so we do need to try and save up a little bit of money for that. Probably going to need an extra gearbox too while we're at it. So yeah, we'll have to see. Piastri might be running kind of a skeleton car towards the end of the season. We might also be running just yellow parts for the last couple of races, which wouldn't be that much of a surprise, because the parts are quite damaged, and it is what it is. We should probably just run this ERS2 until it's completely broken. And 2 gearboxes are already broken, so we'll be buying some parts here for Piastri, but it is what it is. Yeah, AI is already starting to take penalties there. I clicked a little bit too quick, but we did see a couple of them. And we're just gonna put him a little bit off kilter here, with the hopes of getting a little bit closer to the sweet spots. For Norris, he is basically just needing to find this one, so let's do it like so. And we can get run with this practice. So yeah, if any of you have seen that quick development guide, please let me know if it's any good, if it helps you or not, because again, I was quite frazzled, so we'll see how that works out. I will be doing the AlphaTauri speedrun. I am almost done with the first episode. It's just taking a little bit of work and effort to get going. So Sainz and Perez are both taking penalties. We are 14-15. The Vries is also taking penalty. That shouldn't come as a big surprise, honestly. Okay, so we're getting closer with Piastri here, but we're still kind of far off. So let's do it like this. That should be a little bit better. And for Norris, we can just tweak him a little bit, like so. That broken? I don't know, honestly. Let me have a look. Is it not catching up? I think it just caught up because I got a lot of messages immediately. Could just be YouTube being silly, which wouldn't surprise me. Did I figure out if research is based on the base car performance or what? It's based on your expertise, I think. So I did make new parts, but the gains didn't go as high as I expected. So I'm pretty sure it's just based on your expertise, basically. So those 2024 results, intriguing to see how we got there. Basically, again, it's just the car development and Verstappen crashing himself out. And the thing is, tire warm-up is probably bugged. That's the best way I can describe it. It's probably not working as intended. Because on certain tracks, you can go full attack, cook the tires almost to the maximum, and still be super quick and have basically no tire degradation. So it's funny because it works like that on certain tracks. On other tracks, the tires will just straight up die. So I'm currently looking into that as well right now.
Hello and welcome to
so it's a little bit interesting. Check it out later after the race. Yeah, feel free. Excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna have to use this box. The other one is gonna be relegated for practice use only. But yeah, considering how many races we have left, we're definitely gonna need to buy an engineer for Piastri. Already bought him an ERS. So with that in mind, he's gonna have a rough time ahead of him. We are gonna be using that older gearbox there. This looks okay. It's acceptable. Piastri, we are missing a little bit here on where we want to be, so I think we'll just have to eat that, honestly. This is supposed to be like this. Could gamble. Something like this, which seems okay, but it could also lead us to lower than 90, but we'll take the chance. Let's get the qualifying started. Hopefully the chat is working as intended, because it did seem a little bit buggy. Now we are going to have rain, so basically everyone is going to be sending their cars out immediately, which means we are going to be doing the same. We do kind of want to run first, that way we can run unmolested, no one in our way. And as you can see, everyone is sending their cars out. We could of course also run last, but running first is just straight up safer. Okay, let's see if we made it through here. Looks like we did. With flying colours, one might add. 9th and 11th. And they could manage another run here now before it actually starts raining. So we're going to do the same. It's about 4 minutes till rain. So we are going to try and do the same here. Try and get our cars out. But as you can see, we are going to be last this time around. So we might not make it ourselves, but we'll see. Should have just about enough time to maybe get a run done. Just a little bit too slow there, but we should still be safe. Review of the game? I probably should, honestly. I probably should. But at the same time, I am kind of looking at it probably a bit too positively for most people, so... Maybe, maybe not, I don't know yet. But it's a good idea, BKK. Hello, Pocanaldo, how you doing? Okay, we're having actually quite a lot of rain right now. And we're going to have a potential dry run there at the end. So what we want to do is just send our boys out for 2 runs of confidence building. And then we'll send them out for the dry run at the end. That should work out just fine. Norris actually had a pretty decent run here. He is 4th currently. Piastri 2 is just inside right now, ahead of Leclerc, which is honestly a bit surprising. But we'll take it.
Your P10.
Let's continue. Williams stage, currently in Montreal. Yeah.
Okay, look after the fuel on the way in. Copy.
Hope you're doing well. Okay, so no real improvement there, which isn't a surprise. The rain is going very quickly down here. So let's get those stock cars on. And for Norris, it's going to be a little bit unfortunate that we are going to have to use another fresh set, but I think it's necessary for just being safe here, honestly. So it is starting to become more dry, but because it has been wet and the temps are low, we might just end up doing this manually to be on the safe side. So if we're going to do manually, it could go very, very wrong, but it could also go very, very right. So with that in mind, the thing now is that we are going to be blocked no matter when we send the car out, except for if we do it now, maybe. We are going to have to go through some traffic. It's just how it is. So we're going to take control of Norris here. We're going to actually put him on aggressive. And we're going to do the same here for Piastri. We're going to take control, mainly just so we can keep ourselves in a good window. I want to try and not get overtaken here by Perez, so... Gonna go balance on fuel. Gonna be a little bit in the way here, but we will use him as basically a tow now on the main straight for Norris. And for Piastri to go a little bit more attacking, get a little bit more heat into those tires. And for Piastri 2 now can just go full push. Norris didn't get full heat into those tires before the run, so that could be bad, but we'll see if we can get something good going here.
It's a checkered flag.
Okay. See if Norris improves. Improves to 2nd place. I'd take that. I think we're doing well. That's a good quality. Williams is super difficult because of money. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised about that. Hello, Mac is live. Waiting for September patch. Yeah, don't have the game yet, unfortunately. Are you gonna bring some more curses to me here? If none of your cars break during the stream while I'm here. Honestly, it's going to hamper my progress, but very happy with this run, though. Norris just 6 thousandths of Verstappen. That's a promise as well. 2 drives in Q3, would you take those? Yeah, that's not a bad result. And the thing here, we can actually because this track is so short. Well, the lap times are short. We can actually probably do 3 runs, as long as we take manual control. Because for some reason, look here, if I just take manual control, look at how big the gap between Piastri and Norris grows. This is the slowest they can go under manual control, which is, to me, just hilarious. But it allows you to speed up your runs here. And with that, we can probably get a couple of confidence boosting runs in before we do our final one. Which, of course, would help. So we'll go ahead and do this and this. That should speed things along. So yeah, that's the way to get more runs into Q3. There are no engine fails in this game, Thanos, unless you run the engine down to 0%. Good morning, Willie. How you doing? Yeah. They still have yet to add failures. It is what it is. Well, we'll put the fuel to conserve, tires to conserve. We'll do another run, as I said here, before we do the proper one. We might have time for that. It might be a little bit too close, but I think we should have plenty of time. I probably should have checked this a bit earlier, but we actually have rain incoming, so I made a huge mistake. I thought we had a final dry quali here. So, yeah. I did this on older tires. That was a mistake by me. Yikes. Stuck in a DRS frame for P10? Yeah. One of the reasons why I actually advise people to focus the revving onto the DRS, because you can actually get the best DRS with just one upgrade, which is hilarious to me. But it's really helpful once you get stuck in those DRS trains. As long as you push a little bit with your ERS, you can usually easily get overtakes done. Thank you for the shout out, BKK. But yeah, I did make an error here. Probably could have had Norris. Well, to be fair, Norris probably wouldn't be much higher than this, maybe 4th. But at the same time, we could have performed better. We should be moving up though, because both Sainz and Perez are taking penalties. So, potential second row here. For Norris is going to be pretty good. And, yeah. Are you pushing your tires too, Pocanello? Because, again, cooking the tires on most tracks isn't actually as bad as you would think. Like, on certain tracks, running tires moderately overheated is actually a net benefit. P3 for Norris, so realistic? Yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, so this track has high abrasiveness, which should result in, high degradation along pit lane, so we might want to try and do just a singular pit stop. In terms of tires, we can expect the soft steer to be very effective for a little bit over 12 laps, probably. And the mediums will be running quicker than the hards for a good 30 laps, so potentially medium to hard one-stopper could work, but again, it's very close there with the wear. So doing a two-stopper could also work, but I'm wondering if we have 2 mediums available for one of the boys here. We do for Norris, so he could do some fun strategies. So with that in mind, I think this is the best strategy for Piastri. Just try and get back up. Now, we could, of course, try and run him a little bit more aggressively, which in theory here is going to be quicker, even if we're going to destroy the tires doing so. So we're gonna stick Piastri in this strategy. It's probably not going to be too great, honestly. But it is supposed to be quicker as long as we don't get stuck in traffic. Watched the R&D video and it's very helpful. Honestly, I'm so tired that I felt like I did a poor job with that one, so I'll probably make a more refined one later on. SC came out near my pit window for mediums, and you picked up it. It's like a yes, no moment there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so what I'm thinking for Norris is that we do something like this. It'll allow us to run the mediums aggressive the entire way. Norris does have pretty good tire wear to begin with, so this should be pretty fine. And again, these are longer stints, but if anyone goes in the hards, we'll hold the advantage for the entire stint. So I say this is a fairly decent strategy for Norris. We can switch it up if we have a safety car, but this is what we'll be going for. Unfortunately, this track has pretty high degradation, so we can't really do any shenanigans here with pushing the tires super hard. But that just be how it be. Was he having Kimi's ice cream? How is driver development in this game? Hello, Carl. Driver development is pretty simple and straightforward. You can tell your drivers to focus on a certain area, which will be 4 of his stats. But generally, it's based on their performance on how they develop. Sounds like a wing change, but it's probably not. Could also just be that if everyone pitted, that he got held up in the pits. I have that happen a lot, which is very unfortunate. Do you think there's sufficient game depth this year? Honestly, I'm starting to have some small doubts about that, but at the same time, it feels if the initial feeling is that there is a lot more depth to it. But as I said, it feels like the AI, the main way the AI will fight you is just whenever they switch tires to a new stint, they'll go super aggressive for a few laps. So they will fight you somewhat, but again, we can have Tsunoda win with the 4th best car on the grid, so we'll see. They have added a lot more depth though, so as long as they polish that and balance that a little bit better, I think this game is going to be pretty good.
And the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Yeah, team switching is going to be big too, in terms of that. Okay, so we are starting 3rd. We are having a good run here on Hamilton.
You can use overtake.
Piastri running 7th. Very nice. We have Magnussen in front. And we are going to be running these tires a little bit aggressive here for the first couple of laps, so that we don't fall down behind the other boys. So yeah, for Norris, we can probably go ahead and give him the high overtake aggression, although it is a bit risky. He is just under the limit there of the very high. But I think it should be okay. I think also we're going to be tuning down the tires here just a little bit earlier. Because let's face it, Verstappen is not someone we are going to be fighting with anyways. We don't really need to follow him. If we can follow Hamilton, that would be great. But even, like, let's face it, if we just get a podium here, that would be huge. Stick to Grand Prix World for another year. To be fair though, once team switching comes out in September, it wouldn't surprise me if they have a pretty sizable discount, so you might want to wish list it on Steam if it's interesting to you, in case they do somehow, you know, make a weird sale at some point. It wouldn't surprise me too much if they would. Okay, we'll have to see what we do with Piastri, because I don't think he can maintain the heat for long enough. Norris is still running 3rd, but again, Leclerc is coming at us. Our car isn't super good. It's probably not even the 5th best car, so it's not surprising we're falling a little bit further down the order right now. But again, it is the first few laps. The AI is generally more aggressive here, and then they will start cooling it down a bit. Tires are slightly overheating. Honestly, that's fine. Slightly overheat isn't too bad, as you can see here. He is losing a little bit what we expected, but with Norris here, he's actually straight on point. So we'll have to see. We might need to, as I said, tune Piastri down a little bit. He's going to suffer as a result, but right now we're still looking. I feel like we're still looking acceptable. It's unfortunate we couldn't keep up with Hamilton and of course Verstappen, but we don't have the car for that, unfortunately. How far do I allow my fuel to run? Depends on the track. Generally, I allow it to run to 1.2, 1.5 kilograms. Just push immediately, get it down. Again, this is probably personal preference, but I feel like it might have a little bit of an effect. Norris is out, as you cursed being.
Lando, are you okay? Are you okay?
And he also picked up a penalty, so this is gonna suck, but I think we're gonna have to switch strategies up here a little bit. Potentially also just park him. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I strike with You see that, Batman. Okay. So what can we do here to switch things around? Because these mediums are done for. We can do basically one more lap on them if we're lucky. If we go on the hards, which honestly is a horrible idea, they won't even last to the end here, most likely. We'd lose about 25 seconds. Let's say that we do 2 soft stints towards the end here, and we hope for a safety car. How would that actually look? It would look potentially doable. 129.50, okay. Will be about the same as doing this one, but because we are going to have to pit, as I said, immediately because of the tire, we are just going to have to switch to this kind of strategy. Albon's doing amazing, holding on to P8, very nice. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for Norris there, but it is what it is. Sometimes we just have incidents happen. But he is at least back on the track, and we'll just get him into the pits. Don't really need to change his front wing, luckily, but he does have minor damage to a couple of the other components, suspension and side pods, which is going to cost us a lot of money. So, not too happy with that. We'll be focusing on Piastri this race then. Of course, we crashed with Stroll. And hilariously enough, we actually served our penalty and got out before Stroll. That's kind of funny, but at the same time kind of sad that we crash a car out and we are out ahead of him in the pits on virtue of, well, pitting quickly. So we could probably go full on attack on these mediums to try and catch up to the back of the grid again. And it might actually be worth doing so. Hello, Alberto. I haven't actually focused much on Piastri 2.
Virtual safety car. Delta positive.
My boys, why are you doing this to me? Okay, so Piastri destroyed a chassis, that's 500,000. Front wing is 200, so that's about 700,000. Jesus. But no, I haven't made a video, Albert Gallo, about facilities yet, unfortunately. Hello, neighbor. I'll be making a pick management guide, yeah, for sure. Crash someone out. Someone getting out ahead is quite normal in F1, though, yeah. Congrats, Pocanaldo. We'll have to see what we do here then with Piastri, because Piastri doesn't really have much in terms of tire choices here. We could try and put him on a triple soft, which honestly is probably the best option that we have here. So for Piastri, we're going to be switching his strategy around as well. And for him, it's again, we're just going to be moving these soft stints up. And, well, he'll be doing a 3-stopper as well. That was the wrong car. There we go. He actually has enough soft tires to make this viable too, which is the funny part. So it'll be something like this. It's just how it's going to have to be. And we'll just have to try and make the best out of it. But it is very unfortunate. But yeah, as I said, I will be making a pit crew guide probably sometime soon. How long till Nero bans me? Probably very soon. Underdog challenge for Motorsport Manager, or are you talking about something else? Just so you help Piastri tires at 120 degrees for a long time. The thing is, on certain tracks, burning, like cooking the tires isn't necessarily a bad thing. I guess you could imagine that cooking the tires should lead to more accidents, potentially. Which I guess could be a bad thing then, but it doesn't explicitly say that. But generally, sometimes you can actually have a lot better performance by doing that, so...
Debbie on the main straight.
That's pretty rude, man. The other person is Piastri.
Yes, everyone is okay.
But yeah, sometimes you can actually cook your tires pretty reliably. I did play a lot of Motorsport Manager earlier. Well, not earlier, but before, so I think I might have already done that, to be honest. Love that we have a 13.2 second pit stop, and it's the second fastest one. That tells you everything you need to know. Well, at least we did get the pit stop under the virtual safety car, so take with us what little victories we can.
So Oscar, we can look after this time.
And fuel is now back on the positive side. Hello, Jacko.
Something seems wrong. Yep, we're checking, we're checking.
No, it's I basically played that pretty much. I had a long hiatus on the YouTube channel, so I played that without really recording, uploading anything. But if they're interested and I get bored sometime, I might just do it again. Then make videos with it. I am kind of looking forward to Open Wheel Manager 2 though, seeing what that has to offer. But right now, I'm probably for the foreseeable future, I'm probably going to be focused on, well, 23. But yeah, no, it's not on the channel, unfortunately. So it never happened. Yeah, I don't have video evidence. Canada, not Canada, this one's still struggling with points. Okay, now the main concern that I have now is Piastri and Norris potentially just, you know, murdering each other. For Norris here, it should be fine to actually just go full attack to the end of that stint. Piastri's looking good, but again, we are kind of just running in the back right now, being a bit slow. We do have Stroll with us, so at least we're not walking alone. And we should be catching De Vries too pretty quickly, yeah. Although I will tune down Norris just a tad here, because he is running behind, well, he's running ahead of Piastri now, so we can actually tune him up again. Did Piastri run wide or something? Why did he suddenly lose so much time? Look away for a second. But yeah, we'll see if we can actually find our way back up into the points. We aren't that far off, so... Well, I say we aren't that far off. We're about 20 seconds off the points. So, depending on safety cars, we might be in luck here. But yeah, damage boat cars here, not very optimal. And Piastri, I can see why Piastri slow. His gearbox actually entered in the yellow zone. So for Piastri, we might actually end up just straight up retiring him. Tsunoda off the track.
Now is that Yuki Tsunoda?
Double points incoming. I was hoping for that, but it's not looking very promising right now, unfortunately. Should probably push a little bit of fuel here too, in case we have more safety cars later on. For Norris, should probably taking his aggression down a bit, but he's still high, so we can just leave him as is. But we'll see what we do with Piastri, if he can actually keep, you know, time going. Well, never mind.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. This is a great start to today. Terminal gearbox damage. That is a fresh gearbox, if I remember correctly. That is an expensive crash. Yeah, this game is a lot more difficult, but I think it's gonna be a lot easier so you learn how it works, honestly. Yeah, this is gonna be expensive. Like, keep my word, yeah. I think we just... I'm very tempted to just, you know, park Piastri to be on the safe side. We could, of course, pit him now, but we don't really have any ties to make that work. We'd have to go on the hards. Honestly, just going on the hards is probably not the worst idea ever. It's not a great tire, but at the same time, we don't really have much of a choice if it's a safety car. We kind of have to take advantage. So, we'll get Piastri in. We'll just put him on the hards. And we'll see if we can make something happen here. Because this is a tragedy so far. This is going to be very expensive. We're probably going to have to spend about 50 million on new components. So yeah. We are going to have not a fun time. So we are running 15th. Everyone is on mediums or softs, except for us. So it's not going to be a good time. Potentially we could stretch these tires to the end, but I don't think that is really viable. So instead we're going to be probably pushing these tires a bit aggressively. Probably not that aggressively, but a little bit aggressively, and get on the softs towards the end here. I think that is going to be our strategy. Thank you, BKK. That more than covers it. Very generous of you. Thank you. this is a tilter. Honestly, when the races like this happen, you just kind of have to laugh because you don't really have a choice. Sometimes the game just decides that today you're gonna suffer, and you're either gonna rage quit or you're gonna laugh alongside it.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car will be in this lap.
For the restart, we suggest use overtake at part throttle.
Okay, we can go a little bit attack here. We're going to deploy ERS, try and get something done. For Piastri, is very low driver confidence, so honestly, we're not going to have him do anything that is, you know, even remotely dangerous, just to be safe. But yeah, we'll have to see what we do here after this, because I don't think we have a huge amount of spare parts lying around. So we could be in for a bit of a rough time here. It's a game. Like, I understand people get angry at games, but I just can't let myself do it. It's better to just laugh it off. Norris is not going to finish. No. He did finish. He's already finished. He finished 18th. But I don't know what happened with Alonso. I know that Sargent took out Norris here, so technically Norris is not at fault. Do I think I can win the championship next year with McLaren? Probably not, because our development haven't been stellar. So we could probably fight for a win or a podium here and there, but championship is going to be difficult. Oh, okay. They're all going, unfortunately. If the three of them had taken each other out, Piastri would have a good chance of points here. Okay. Still looking good, even though we're pushing these a little bit too hard. So, if you have a quick look at the tires, in theory they are overheating now, but they're just slightly overheating, so they're not losing that much performance. If I say slow down now to aggressive, just to try and cool down the tires a little bit, we can just see in the the lap times. Let's see, we're currently lap 35. We tune down here. Tune it down to standard so we actually get under that temperature, although we are catching up to the cars in front. Last was 16.8, 16.2, so it did improve lap time a little bit, cooling them down slightly, but I'm curious what this one is going to be. Animation's still a bit janky. Yeah, they are a bit janky. It's not even just a little bit, they're very janky. 16.7, so we're kind of back to it. So it doesn't really matter if we run attack or not, we're going to be running around the same lap times. But if we can push the tire, we should. And it's actually very easy to see if you actually should, because this thing nicely enough tells us. If I were to do this, it's telling us that running this stint on full attack might save us 6 seconds. It doesn't really take, I think, temperature into account. But it is probably most likely quicker to follow that instruction. Interestingly enough. So I'm very tempted to test tires on different tracks to see if the tire temperatures actually do kind of work as intended. I have a feeling that it might be the same issue as last year, unfortunately. Did Hamilton just pick up another penalty? Or did he have that? I think he had that. Okay, we still have hope. Everyone is still going to have to pit again. For sure. So there is opportunity here, if we can somehow make this work. But it's still going to be probably a tad too difficult. Piastri is getting higher on the confidence though, so I'm going to go ahead and put him back to high aggression. And that could potentially backfire, don't get me wrong. But I feel like we kind of have to here, to try and just get by these... forecasts are running ahead of us, kind of being in the way. Piastri immediately gets Stroll, but that was a little bit too much for his battery. Couldn't get more than him. Pick that up and crashing the signs. Okay. Yeah, Piastri now can potentially make his way back, as I said, up into the points, and everyone still will have to pit, and we do have a bit of a pit time advantage. So even with the damage, Piastri still has a good chance there. And as I said, we're not really losing any time by running very aggressive. Tire slightly overheating is not a big concern. Now, we are within DRS, so as long as we are neutral here, we should just DRS pass easily, and we actually did. That should help Piastri's confidence a little bit, which will of course help his lap times even more. And we are now up into 9th, thanks to Russell pitting. But of course, behind us we have 2 cars that have pitted that will probably re-overtake us the second we pit ourselves. But I'm curious how long Albon, among others, is planning to stay out on these old softs. Are they going to do another soft set? Because if so, they might run these down to, you know, very low tire wear levels, which would be good for us. Piastri was peaked there for a second, then again, it is a little bit too much of a yo-yo this, going up and down immediately. But he is enjoying better stats now, so that is going to help us with his battling. Let's see now if we can catch Ocon. 15.7 lap times. We're actually running quickest of everyone except for Stroll, Verstappen. And we have another safety car, so we're definitely pitting. And show is out. Okay.
Here, and as I understand it, George Russell's involved.
So we should come out ahead of all of these, I'm hoping.
Safety car.
Unless we have a pit stop error. So we'll have to see. That would actually be, you know, the final icing on the cake, so to speak. So yeah, Piastri did retain his position while doing the pit stop, and actually came out quite a lot ahead there of Stroll. So we'll want to try and conserve these tires as much as possible now, because we need these to last to the end, and we also need them to be able to battle. Austria has indeed very low degradation. If you talk about the sprint, you might be able to... I wouldn't actually risk it on softs. I would rather use mediums, I think, honestly. That should go over 100, not hit a limit. What's the point of developing 100 cornering stuff, for example? Good question. I think it's just that these extra boosts are just that extra boosts. But I don't know if the stats can go above 100 here. It would be interesting to see. Yeah, we'll have to see though, because we might have peak confidence, but the AI is very aggressive on restarts. So it wouldn't surprise me if Piastri is going to immediately lose a lot of that confidence from battling, unfortunately. And everyone is now on basically the exact same tires. Piastri is suffering a little bit more degradation than the others, because he does have a pretty low smoothness. So we'll see exactly how this ends up going for us. Lap car's been overtake. So while the safety car does another lap, I'm just going to go quickly get... Well, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to quickly fill up my glass with something to drink. Okay, so we should just get ready for restart. We are going to do just aggressive. Going to be a little bit passive here. Just to be on the safe side. And I guess we could watch it from Piastri's perspective here and get a little bit seasick. So lap cars could overtake, but Tsunoda waited until the safety car went into the pit before. That is a bit unfortunate for him. What do you think about the GP today? Apart from Verstappen coming to the field and winning by 26 plus. I'm hoping for Piastri to have a good showing. As Piastri makes his way through the field, and Merc might, you know, put a hole in the sidepod, who knows? But Piastri does have a really good chance there, and I would like to... Or does he? I'm so into the game that I don't even remember where Piastri starts. I thought it was the old sprint format. I'm looking forward to seeing how the McLarens do, honestly. That's mainly it. Piastri has been really good lately, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in the GP most of all. engineered insanity videos, yeah. It is a cool camera angle though, honestly. Tsunoda is probably going to get caught again here, which is kind of hilarious. But we'll have to see how we want to deal with the tires here, and of course the fuel. We are kind of falling back, but that is mainly just a result of the AI, again, just super pushing, particularly on fresh tires after safety car. Piastri is getting close to Ocon though. What happened? I would assume Ocon kind of slowed down a tad here. Piastri's high downforce, same with Russell, yeah. Depends on if the track condition is damp, but I believe McLaren has a good chance of podium. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. 15 laps to go now. Again, Piastri with damage is still doing the best he can. Minor damage to his gearbox as well. He's being kind of a warrior here. We might need to tune down the usage here of the tires just a little bit. Because they are kind of burning away. We are kind of running them slightly too hot here. It's starting to go down below the line where we want them. Which means that Stroll is going to probably have a chance to attack us. Same with Sainz. So we'll have to see here. Ideally, that safety car should come a couple laps later. Then we would have had a bit more to fight with. But if we can stay with Stroll here and use him as a tow, that would be great too. He should, in theory, be way quicker than us. I like Verstappen, but he's been winning too much, so I hope someone else gets a chance. To be fair though, Verstappen will probably take that challenge and just say, challenge accepted, and go for it. So I don't think he will mind too much. Okay, we have a car off the track here, Magnussen. That is one more position for us. We'll take that with pleasure. And again, we're just basically just saving a little bit of tire towards the last few laps, so we'll be pushing quite aggressively. I'm still dreading the cleanup of paths that we need to do after this race in terms of manufacturing. Red Bull should just sell a last to first sponsorship thing, and they would be good. Verstappen could start P21. Verstappen could probably, if he goes all out for what that Red Bull has to offer, he could probably start a lap down and still win. To be honest. Now for Piastri here, we are probably going to just aim at getting Ocon. We don't really have the tires to push anything more than that. Even now, we're still kind of on the limit. And the cars around us have about the same tires as we do. So as long as we can stay with this DRS train, we probably have some good chances. Have they said anything about rain and if the race is getting delayed? Because I believe the forecast was that during the race period, it was supposed to be a stop in the rain. Starting a lap down as well, I'm not sure about that. It's a bit hyperbole, let's be honest. I am hoping for too much with that, but it would be a fun challenge to just see. Yeah, there was a lot of rain in the morning. I'm just wondering if it's going to be a lot of rain while it's race time. Pretty much dried up. Okay, that should be good. Okay, now we need to start making some decisions on when we start to push here, because we do want to try and keep the tires alive as long as possible. It's still 5 laps to go. So as long as we're staying with Stroll here, I think it's fine to just wait a little bit longer before we start pushing. Because we'll barely have tires by the time we get to the final lap here. Barely have tires. The main thing though with BKK with their RBR car, I don't think we've ever seen its full potential yet. Interesting enough. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but the full wet tires aren't really good enough. It is what it is. Can't really do anything about it. praying Max and Lewis make contact in turn 1. If Max and Lewis makes contact in turn 1, we're going to be hearing about it for the rest of the... we have 2 laps to go, but we're going to start trying to make some moves here. If they make contact in turn 1, that's the only thing we'll be hearing during the summer break. Contact between Max and Lewis, and of course, Red Bull suspected of breaching cost cap yet again. That is literally the only thing you'd hear on the news. ERS is deployed. We are pushing all that we can now, but it might just not be enough. We'll see. Team LH would go apeshit.
This is the last lap. Last lap.
Lando going to Red Bull to replace Perez would actually be quite... that would be actually insane if you think about it. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be an insane switch, particularly now that they've basically put Rick up against Tsunoda. So, to be fair, if Horner got the opportunity to sign him, I think he would go for it. But yeah, could happen. I wouldn't hold my breath for it though, but again, could happen. Okay, we are getting closer to the last few corners here. We did get DRS, but we are going to run out of ERS. So, don't think we'll have a chance to really attack here for the 2 Alpines here, unfortunately. Need a little bit more time for that. Could have probably run a little bit more conservative in the beginning of the stint. Yeah. To be fair though, I don't think anyone at Red Bull wants someone that can compete with Max. I think they want someone who can accept that second driver role and reliably get podiums and win when Max is having, that one off day a season. I think that is what they're looking for right now. Honestly, they kind of want stability. And Perez in particular has been incredibly unstable this season. Like, he had a great start, but lately it's been a roller coaster, unfortunately. No, I would not take the Alpine job. That would be stressful. It's supposed to have younger stuff and improve them like drivers. Are you thinking younger staff? When you say stuff, I assume it's staff. But yeah, I don't know if they develop quicker, honestly. I haven't tested that, but I would assume they would. It could also be that they develop at the same time. Now, we actually got 7th, which is 6 points for good old Piastri. 2nd points this season. That does put Alpine kind of far ahead of us in the constructors because they both finished ahead of us, which is a shame because Norris did have that bit of an accident. We did win the fastest pit stop awards though, so we'll take that with us. And yeah, we actually have some pretty good pit stops here. Yeah, kind of like with Merck and Bottas, honestly. Because if you have a driver that is so extremely dominant, like Verstappen is right now, you basically just want safety and, safety and support. Red Bull needs someone like Raikkonen for Vettel or Bottas for Hamilton. Yeah. Just a reliable teammate that will basically kind of accept their position. But let's face it, all the racing drivers are fiercely competitive, so there's very few that will actually accept to just be straight up a second driver. So that one's kind of hard. Will they be regularly updating the game? They did drop a, day 1 patch technically, so they have at least promised us one more update in September. And I would assume that we might get some, bug fixes and some smaller updates with each race weekend with the race moments thing. So we'll see how that works. Ocon to Red Bull. That would be catastrophic. Like, Ocon is going to be defending against his teammate way harder than anyone else. So yeah, that would be catastrophic. How the pit stop training mechanics work? I'll show you in just a second. But yeah, I would say if you put Ocon in Red Bull, Max might actually just straight up leave. Guess they might do multi-episode guesswork. Okay, so Norris manages through everything but his underfloor. Of course, he destroys gearbox 2, bit of his engine, bit of his ERS. So let's go and have a look at that car of his and what is left. So engine now means that we are going to definitely buy another one for Norris. We just have to. And we are probably going to end up having to buy another gearbox as well. This one is completely broke now. For the ERS, we're probably going to have to buy yet another one. So that crash is going to be very expensive. Now for Piastri here, he too is probably going to need at least another gearbox. For now though, and of course the extra engine is going to be bad. We're definitely going to want some engine cooling for next season for sure. And we are actually going to also have to make some new chassis here, I think. What chassis were we using? Let's have a quick look here on what we actually want to manufacture. But first, let us just swap out what we can and repair what we can do while we're at it. Because right now I am apparently a little bit behind on a lot of things. So let's see if we can actually fix the cars up first and make things work here. Look at all those juicy destroyed parts, yeah. Norris crashed and then he crashed again. So he did a double crash in a single race. Is Lando eating the parts as you are making them less durable? No, he's not eating the parts as they're made less durable. He is destroying their parts by crashing. Every single part that is currently missing on the car was not destroyed due to low durability. They were destroyed. If it says destroyed, it means that they took damage during the race. And even if it's just minor damage, that is enough to destroy even a fully, health part. And as a result, if they run their natural life cycle, it would just say that the part failed. Destroyed means, again, destroyed during the race. Failed means that it ran its life cycle. So, again, durability didn't really have anything with all these parts being destroyed. What about the penalty for breach the cost cap? We might actually figure that out. The reason why I'm saying engine cooling is important, Alberto, is because engine cooling probably has a direct effect on your engine wear, which means that having high engine cooling means that you can run that engine for longer. And well, currently buying a new engine outside of allocation is actually kind of expensive. So we're probably gonna have to spend an extra 10 million for that. As you can see here, this costs 5 million engine. We're probably gonna need one for both drivers. So if you consider that, it is gonna be a lot of extra costs. We don't have a lot of money, and we aren't that far into the season, so it's gonna cost us a lot. Reduced wind tunnel time is implemented in F1 Manager. Okay, that would be nice. Before I forget, I'm just going to show you the pit crew quick. Go to your staff here. You can find your pit crew. Go to development, and then you click this button. You get a calendar for the current month, and you can actually set up what you want your pit crew to focus on. And pit stop drills is very simple. It lowers the chance of making errors. Gym training lowers the estimated pit stop time. And car building is basically how quickly you can change setups during, say, practice. The other thing that you need to keep an eye on with your pit crew is your sporting director. He's basically your entire pit crew stat-wise. And how low I can cap the pit stop group, it depends on his aptitude. So for our guy here, who's 86 aptitude, we can cap it a little bit over 2 seconds. But I'm pretty sure you can go down to 1.8, 1.7 seconds if you get aptitude to 100. So it's going to depend on a few of those things. Weekend simulation option would be cool. I think I can win this season. No, that's going to require a lot of luck, unfortunately. I don't think we can get a win this season. I have some engines for you, hippity hoppity. They are broken, but you can have them. You can have a gearbox. You can have a couple of these ones. Because we're currently having a kind of a mare right now. Just leave me the destroyed ones. You guys can fight over them. But yeah, we do need to have a look at the warehouse here and what we wanna build. So, of these two, honestly, it's probably better to build this one. Well, we already have two of this one. This one was basically just a cooling boost, which could be a good, interesting one to put on just to make sure that we keep things alive. But for now, we're going to put it on the secondary chassis. And let's see what else we want to get going with. Okay, we probably do want to get 2 more chassis builds, which is going to be expensive, but that project is apparently already in progress. Okay, so we're making underfloor, we're making a chassis. Okay, so we can do one more project, which is probably going to be just getting 2 more front wings out before we, you know, destroy them as well. Honestly. If you break the cost cap, is the punishment wind tunnel time? I don't know. Haven't tried it yet, but it is in the game for Red Bull, so it could be happening, Carl. A broken energy is a little bit you dead. Take and sell them to F1 or 10 fix. Stuff I want to replace? Yeah, I actually do have some stuff I want to replace. Mainly this man, Holdy. And honestly, we could probably get that done right now. I think his contract runs out. It runs out in a year. It costs 600 to break contract. But it's actually good that you reminded me, because if I remember correctly, the aerodynamics head for Ferrari is actually open to negotiation. But again, this guy is fairly okay right now. If we want anyone, we're probably going to be trying to kidnap the Red Bull one. So what we're actually going to get here is the technical chief of Ferrari. We're going to be going and kidnapping this man. He has 4 months left of his contract. So what we're actually going to be doing here is hire this guy. And again, staff is quite important in this game too. So we're going to replace, probably, again, the head of aerodynamics, technical chief. We might upgrade our sporting director down the line, but for now, he's more than good enough. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and pick up that technical chief before he changes his mind with us having a couple of bad performances. No, nicked him. I don't think I can get a win this season. Our car is just not good enough yet, and we've had a bit too much damage that we're going to have to spend a lot of money on. Oscar Piastri, hater of front wings? Yeah. He's not a hater of front wings, he's a destroyer of front wings. So we will start a next season contract. We'll give him 5 seasons. 4.1 million is what he's currently making. Let's try and up that to 4.4. Should be more than happy with that. We could give him a sign-on bonus. Like so. That should make him very happy, I think. And it's going to cost us to, of course, break our boy out of the contract. But yeah, he accepted this. And again, this guy is a huge upgrade, so we are going to go ahead and hire him right away. We're going to be paying 800,000 right away for that. But we will have a new technical chief next season, who's 98 in underfloor, 98 in rear wing, 95 in front wing. Massive upgrade for next season, which should make things a little bit easier then, if we get there in one piece. Yeah, I have picked him up now for next season. Like, he will be replacing Holdy here at the start of next season. So you can imagine like the massive upgrade, an extra 20 points in underfloor, 20 points in rear wing. It's gonna be great. So yeah. Now actually, our head of aerodynamics here, his contract is actually running out, so we could actually replace him without any negatives potentially. So let's have a quick look there too at the aerodynamics boys here. So we could potentially go for Tondi. He's young. He's also 90 rated. I don't think I know what his contract is though, so we'll do a detailed scouting on him. And we'll also do a detailed scouting on Jared Murphy here. And we'll probably be upgrading our other staff member too. But again, we'll probably give him a bit of a shorter contract. Let's put you into this gearbox so I don't have that red message glaring over my head. Let's go back to this before I forget. We do need to... Okay, we already got that fixed. We've got side pods in order. Rear wing. After that, we're going to do some research if we are allowed to. Financially, we are looking kind of it's looking kind of problematic here. We only have 31 million left to spend. And we are in August, almost in September. but it's still little money if we're going to be spending 10 million on engines, an extra 5 million on ERSs. We're basically going to be spending half of the remaining cost cap here on other things, so could be a problem. Construction delayed. What am I constructing here? The factory? Okay, we'll acknowledge that delay. I don't mind. It's fine. That is an error I made earlier. The reason why I want to put the head of engineering, head of aerodynamics, sorry, replacement that we're going to get is, of course, the fact that we are going to be trying to poach Enrico Balbo in the future, and we don't want to lock ourselves into a long contract with either of these, because, well, it's going to cost a lot more of a buyout fee once we actually change him out. So we'll have to see exactly how we do it. Stop complaining about money and get good at the game. Yeah, I wish I was just good at the game. Okay, so Piastri actually gets 2 points of adaptability of all things. 1 point accuracy, 1 point accuracy for Norris. We might want to maybe change what we are focusing our driver performance on. And as you can see, our car is actually losing out right now to the others around us. But again, it's a bit unfortunate, but because of the bad luck we've had, I think we're going to have to settle for 6th this season. However, I think the board is going to be more than happy with that, so it's okay. Albon caused a red flag in lap 1 sprint Austria. How beautiful. Did he crash out then? I think we're going to go for fast lap. It's not worth the trouble. We're going to go with one driver in the top 10. Just be a little bit passive. We do need the extra money, but at the same time, we're not going to overextend. So here's something to keep in mind. Once you actually hit the cap, like we have here for the estimated pit stop time, 86 allows us to have a pit stop time of just over 2 seconds. They will still, no matter if I tell them to do pit stop errors or focus on something else, they will still set up sessions that don't actually benefit us because we have reached cap of the gym bros, so to speak. So we need to actually turn those back because, again, no benefit for us to actually have them on the menu. And again, we can go cumulative here. Just check that the tire bar doesn't go into weary for any of these race weekends. That would give us an extra 20% chance of making a mistake. But as a result of the training that we're going to do this month, we're going to be able to lower our overall mistake chance by 0.78%. And we're going to increase our car building speed a little bit as well. And you can actually see that represented as stats right here. This is how much we're getting this month in terms of training our pit crew. And we could probably put in a couple more sessions there. Mainly due to the fact that they aren't tied, but that they actually hit weary there. We don't want that. So we could put in one more session, which of course does help a little bit in terms of gaining stats. So that will be our pit crew training schedule for this month. Let's head to Italy and see if we destroy more parts. Because I think we are kind of on the brink here that if we have just one more unlucky crash weekend in a row, it's going to be bad for us.
Here we go.
Spun in turn 1 caused a pileup. Okay, then it's safe. Car building does indeed affect setup time changes. I don't think it has any effect on parts building. I'm still here, so yes. I don't think it had any effect on wing changes either. Wing changes seem to just be set at 7.5 seconds no matter what, for some weird reason. I guess they didn't have time to completely finish that. But yeah, car building, I believe, is just changing of setups in practice. So it's not massively important, but it's one of those things that is nice to have, which is why the focus that I have is, of course, getting the pit stop time down first as the first priority, and then the pit stop errors as the second priority. And then car building is going to be the third priority for me for the pit stops. Okay, let's see how this actually plays out. If it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad. 1928. Probably could also put together a quick guide for these setups, because with the confidence, they're actually quite important. But I should probably make a confidence guide before that, because it can get kind of annoying having to deal with this, honestly. I hope I set everything up correctly, because I'm not going to look back So yeah, let's simulate this practice. And again, we might need to make that chassis that is slower, just so that we can actually, you know, not burn the tires. And already, as you can see here, we're Monza. There's still a lot of people that are going to take penalties here. It's just what it is. Let's go that way. Just gamble a little bit. And for Norris 2, we're just going to go one way and try and force a little bit of a better result there with the setup. Try that. And for Norris here, we'll try something like this. That should be okay. I don't think I filled my glass, but I've forgotten to drink since I last mentioned it because I am a dum-dum.
There's tension in the end.
Okay, we're gonna have a party glider race, which means that we should have hopefully a better time than last time around. Now, we might need to start using some of these yellow parts just so that we survive to the end of the season. But yeah, it's gonna be a rough one. That one is gonna fall down the second it hits 39, I believe, so we'll just use a new one. And yeah, we are gonna have a bad time here. How do I tend to manage ERS in the rest of this year's game? Honestly, I just toggle on the assist, we deploy at the start, and if my drivers get stuck overtaking, I will manually use the ERS to deploy just to get the overtake done. And other than that, I usually just leave it be. I don't really feel like you need to touch it too much, and you'll still be fine. Okay, Monza. Shame that we didn't get the rear wing for this. That would have been actually huge, but we'll just have to deal with that, I guess.
Drive to the Delta. And we are boxes lap.
Yeah, confirm.
So yeah, we are a tad bit slow here, unfortunately. Then again, you can manage the ERS how much or how little you want yourself. It's like, but it's not something that you need to do to have success, honestly. Okay, we are improving, which is good to see, but have we improved enough where we can skip going out once more? Because let's face it, Stroll should improve. I don't think the Vries is going to improve. Sargent shouldn't improve by half a second. So I think we're safe. We're just going to go out on these older tires once again and basically just be a bit of a roadblock. Which is mean, but it is what this game allows you to do.
That is the checkered flag.
Okay,
so
with
boxes lap.
we should be safe here for sure. And actually good enough time to get both rights in Q3. Do the first run on a bit of a shittier compound here. Again, we're probably going to try and do 3 runs just to build confidence.
Track should be
We
green
kind of
now.
need it. We should probably be pretty good here.
Drive to the Delta. And we box this lap. Cool
Yeah, so
car.
Piastri
Yeah, confirm.
got held up or something? I didn't actually see.
Remember, the delta needs to be negative at the end of the lap.
Okay, how much time do we have?
Recharge on and box
9
this
minutes.
lap.
We should have enough time to do another kind of confidence booster run. So we'll just send them out for that. Hello, Callum. We have unfortunately not won any races with this save, but I have won races in the second season with AlphaTauri on a different save.
You'll be 15.
So it is doable. But for this one, we have had quite a bit of an unlucky streak with crashes, which are quite costly in this game. so they do slow you down quite a lot. Okay, we have a Verstappen that we can chase. Very good. I think we've got both drivers out in acceptable windows here. Hopefully Piastri can improve. He hasn't really been giving any chances to run into good windows. But we'll see here. Norris is also in danger, potentially, if Gasly improves. Well, he did not, so unless Piastri does something magical, Norris should be safe. And he's definitely safe now. And Piastri did something magical and got himself into Q3. Very nice. Russell taking penalties here. It's even better. So let's see if we can actually make something out of this Q3 then. Since this time it isn't raining.
Track should be green.
Oh yeah, I do enjoy streaming this game, honestly. I wouldn't be making videos or streaming if I didn't enjoy it. I would be doing something else then. So I'm having fun. Don't worry about that. And I'm just enjoying also the aspect of having possibility to chat while playing. Okay, that is the wrong tire, Norris. My apologies. We'll give you the fresh one, and we'll do the same for you, Piastri. And we will wait and try and send you boys out in a good window, which is probably after Verstappen here, like so. Alonso is potentially... No, he's actually finishing his lap. So Alonso is not going to be in the way, but we might have cars coming out and being a bit annoying. Namely Russell, in our case. Russell is holding up Verstappen there, which is potentially beneficial to us because he didn't hold us up much. But Alonso might hold us. He might actually give us a little bit of slipstream.
You are currently P6.
So no improvement for Piastri. Norris is in 6th. Albon didn't improve either, so no improvement for Alonso. Stroll, nope. Starting 6th and 8th. That is good. I enjoyed these streams for the chaos I bring. Yeah. You do bring chaos though. That's the worst part. It's not even wrong. It's factual. Okay, so we have a very good starting position here with 6th and 8th. Well, it's very good and very good. It's better than what we kind of expected. Now, in terms of the tires here, softs will be actually quicker for a good 17 laps compared to mediums. Mediums will be better than the hards for not too many laps, about 13, 14. So we might want to do a two-stopper here. But we could also do something a little bit cheeky, like this. And go a little bit more aggressive on the hard compound, go a little bit more aggressive on the medium compound, like so. 1502. The other one is, of course, that we do something like this and go even more aggressive, which is doable. Would give us a 15 blank, but I think we might as well just play it safe then and go with this one, which is basically start to the mediums, run them a bit slow, push towards the end of the stint, run the hards completely aggressive, and that would probably work. What kind of wages did I have to spend to get Randy to move AlphaTauri? About 14 million, I think. Maybe 14 and a half. It was a sizable amount, so yeah, he is costly. But as I said, I think it's 14 and a half. Should be something around there. So yeah, I think we'll just put Norris 2 on this same strategy here, where they can push for the entire hard stint. And we'll just do the one stop here. We could, of course, have a safety car that causes some mayhem, but we're going to hope for that not happening. Also, again, our engines, we probably should get them a bit upgraded, but we'll live without them right now. Yeah, 40 million yearly salary. So he cost as much as 14 the Reese, but that is fine. Probably not worth it, but it's still fun to have him. He does cost a lot of money, and he also will want a pretty long contract, so potentially that could backfire tremendously. I tried to get him on anything lower than that, but he just wouldn't agree. What track would you want to see on the calendar other than XF1 tracks? Looks like BKK want to see a India track. That would be interesting too, honestly. Liam Lawson is the AlphaTauri
Here we go.
first up, so he is indeed in the game.
Italian Grand Prix.
I think he is rated 73 at game start.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Lights out, away we go. We are been promoted to 5th and 7th thanks to Russell's penalty.
Overtake available.
And although it's kind of risky and probably shouldn't do this, we're going to give both of them high overtake aggression.
Confirm.
Okay, buddy, now it's your turn. Let's get stuck in.
Copy.
And in terms of what the everyone's running here, the cars ahead of us are running softs. The cars, well, with us and down, and for most of our mediums. We did have a crash there. I think it was
The
Tsunoda.
AlphaTauri's been involved in an incident.
I still don't know how I feel about the confetti explosions whenever there's just like a light touch between cars. Okay, not unexpectedly, the Red Bulls and the Ferraris are kind of, you know, leaving us in the dust here. Again, the AI is extremely aggressive at race start, but keep in mind also that our car is probably now 6th, 7th best on the grid. It's gotten a little bit downgraded, so the fact that we are maybe able to hold our positions is still pretty good. We're going to tune into probably aggressive a little bit here. And if the degradation is very bad, we're going to tune it down to standard. Honestly, we should probably do that right away. Just run standard at the beginning and then we can tune it up as we go. Luckily, we have Alonso behind Albon, so... Sorry, Albon behind Alonso. So he could potentially cause some mayhem for us there.
And recharge on. Copy.
Kind of see the cars are going, you know, in pairs. Interestingly enough. Back to neutral, allowed to build up naturally. So, for the time being, we're just going to, as I said, go for this one stopper. Just going to allow time to run. There is nothing really too interesting going on. We could potentially say, tell one of our boys to not fight the other, just to be on the safe side. But I don't think we're going to do that. Where's the fun in that? I'm probably going to regret it in about 20 seconds. Yep.
Oscar, is everything okay?
Oh, okay.
Now we're just
It
proceeding
didn't even take
through
20
turn
seconds.
4. Cutting it so close. The car's coming together right there. And
At
they'll
least the
have to
damage
pick
seems to be
themselves up after
minor.
that. And not much.
But yeah, I think we're gonna start telling them to not run together. So, chassis damage again, suspension damage, that's gonna be expensive. Sidepod and suspension, that's gonna be expensive. I don't think we actually have suspensions for them. And is Piastri just straight up out? No, he isn't. Okay, I think the strategy now changes to us putting them boys on the hard tires immediately. And yeah, we're gonna also go ahead and immediately tune them down here for their aggression, so that we don't have any more problems. And it is a bit unfortunate that we're actually having this many crashes right now. So yeah, we'll see if we can make our way back into the points. It's gonna be a bit of a rough trip, I think. F1 breaking point crash, yeah. Usually now, whenever you crash, the tires are just gonna go fair well. So, not much we can do about that. Now, we are gonna go aggressive on these hards, and we are gonna be basically burning them down into nothing before we go on the softs for the final stint. So, we're gonna keep this entire stint going aggressive, I think. I honestly don't know, Thomas. I might stream up until the race. I might stop a little bit before. I think it depends on where I am in terms of the race. Well, if I'm in the middle of a race or not. But if you want to run and get the pre-race show, feel free. Don't worry about it. But I will be streaming pretty far up to it. Hello, Bakang. You have missed us crashing, and crashing. Literally. Don't worry, I won't be here for much longer. Lunch will be ready. It's just unfortunate. It's all bit of bad luck. Norris is actually kind of rapid. 25.7. He's not too far off the cars up front. Like, he's actually quicker than Stroll and Alonso right now on hard tires. But then again, they have very old mediums. So Norris could potentially get himself at least back up into the points there. But crashes like this are going to make it very hard for us to beat Alpine, unfortunately. 9:30 where you live? And night? Oh, that is pretty late. It's barely past 1 here, 1:30 p.m. I'm breaking arrows, guys. I'm gonna need a anti-edster tool sometime soon. So interestingly enough, in terms of lap times, Piastri isn't that far behind right now from Norris, but he is a good 20 seconds behind to begin with. So we'll have to see if we can get Piastri up in the points. But Norris can probably get something done here with the way he's going. And his confidence is back up, so we are going to, against my better judgment, turn up the overtake aggression. Game like that, who was about to crash. Is this game big enough to upgrade to justify the price? Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's a little bit too expensive for what it offers because there's still a lot of things lacking. There's no like random failures for your engine and stuff. There is the AI will still use one parts, like yellow pass down into the 20s if they feel the need to. So there is still a lot to kind of nitpick to some degree, but at the same time, the complexity is nice. They have added a lot of things. So if you enjoyed 22, then the upgrade might be worth it for you. But if you kind of on the fence, then it probably might not be. It really depends on what you're looking for. They've added complexity. They've rebalanced them. As I said, the car development, the cost cap, the pick crew has become a bit easy to manage. Driver development is no longer putting in points, so there are changes there. But if they're enough to justify the price, will have to be up to you personally, honestly. It could have an effect, but again, I didn't have these problems with, hilariously enough, I didn't have these problems with the AlphaTauri save. That could also be because AlphaTauri save has higher brake cooling. But I would basically ran a full season on overtake aggression on high, and I think I had 1 crash in total. So I might have just been lucky there, might just be unlucky here, because we haven't really had too many crashes up until these last 2 races. So I think it's a case of, potentially just a case of both there, like A and B are working together, just a bit of bad luck, and it's, you know,
there's a yellow flag.
Who crashed? Give me a second, Gasly and Hamilton. So, of course, it could have an effect with the wonky confidence bar. I don't know why I skipped there. But at the same time, it's probably more related to brake cooling, honestly. Shouldn't surprise me. Maybe part of buying the game is I'm shocking at it. Should I play Sergeant for Tsunoda? Tsunoda is actually pretty good. He's doing very well for me. Sergeant is he not meant to improve quickly? Yeah. I think they both improve rather quickly though, but Tsunoda is pretty good already. Like, the only thing he's lacking, I think, is a control stat. So he might crash a lot, but again, in 1.5 season of AlphaTauri, I think he's crashed once. So if you take that into consideration, it's kind of an interesting one. So Hulkenberg is running his mediums into the floor here. You can see him running them at 18%. I don't think he crashed, did he? No, he's still staying out, so he's doing it on purpose. I think you can also see the difference here between Norris. Norris is actually running normal smoothness deviation here, while Piastri is actually losing way more tire durability. So smoothness is actually quite important in this game, interestingly enough. In my Williams save, every race Sargent's into his teammate. Yeah. How good is my McLaren? Not very good right now. It was good at one point. Now it's kind of worse. It's probably 6th best on the grid, probably. Rewatch the stream of what I missed. It's not actually anything much. Piastri got some points, but Norris crashed twice, and he crashed once. And then this race they both touched each other, so it's a bit of a weird one. But what we do want to do here now is have a look at the strategy. Can we put in a soft stint here and make it work? Because the rest of the grid will all be on hards, so in theory we should be a bit quicker. So I think we're going to do that. Just have them go full attack now, use what they can left of this tire, and then we'll put them on the soft for the last 17 laps of the race. I think that is what we're going to do. This race they both touch each other. Well, they kind of did. And Hulkenberg is super slow because he has actually run his tires probably down to about 0 there. He probably had a puncture with how slow he was. So for Norris here, I'm actually just going to give him deploy. See if we can get him a little bit of his confidence back before he goes into the pits. And we'll give him one more lap out. We're going to pit Piastri this lap, and we're going to be pitting Norris the following lap. So Piastri's going to come out pretty much close to the back here. Of course, it's not a big surprise to that. We'll see when Norris comes out. He should come out behind Sargent with a little bit of free air. Verstappen is probably going to lap him though, which is going to hurt a little bit, but should also still be okay. Now with Norris here, we can probably run aggressive to the end. We're probably going to have to be a little bit more conservative with Piastri, but even so, it should be okay. It's just a shame that Verstappen actually did manage to lap us here, because we aren't quick enough to overtake him. But at the same time, we can probably stay with him, hilarious enough. But he is on very old hard tires, so it's not great, honestly. But we'll see. If Norris actually overtakes him, that would be funny. My main problem with last game was lack of updates. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get any more updates for this game, honestly. So we'll have to see. Okay, so Hamilton got touched, and the Hask probably broke his underfloor there. Maybe, so that should give Norris more of a chance at catching up here. Potentially getting himself some points. But yeah, we have 14 seconds up to Sargent, so we're gonna need a little bit more here probably. And as I said, Verstappen is kind of being, you know, the blocker here, because we can't really overtake him, even if we are quicker, because with DRS he's just gonna immediately re-overtake us. So that is a bit unfortunate, but he is currently ruining our race by slowing us down tremendously. But yeah, you aren't allowed to do medium. You are correct on that, Ollie. They do both have 5-second penalties though, so maybe we can make something happen. But yeah, we have DRS, but Norris isn't going for the overtake here. If I deploy everything, are you gonna overtake him then and unlap yourself? No, you're not. Because I'm pretty sure Norris is actually quicker right now. That's the thing. Oh, is he actually gonna do it? Finally got free of the Verstappen. Now he needs to run away. Question, can we run away? I think we should be able to, but again, we lost a lot of time just being stuck behind him. So points is probably not on the table anymore, which is very unfortunate. We need to gain about, let's say they both have 5-second penalties. So we need to gain about 15 seconds in the last few laps here. We're running 22.6s, so gaining about 2 seconds, which could happen if the tires do survive the entire trip. So that's going to be in 23.8. We're running a bit too slow there, so we'll have to see. Verstappen is kind of catching up right now too, which is probably slowing us down. I think actually Verstappen is getting DRS off us. Yeah, he is, and that slows us down. So I think that's it for this race, unfortunately. The fact that we got lapped ruined any chance we had at making something out of this. But it is what it is. Bit of a shame too, because the Alpines are going to score points. So I think we're just going to have to be happy with 6 this season. I'm having a lot of fun with the game so far, honestly. I'm enjoying it. Trying to learn currently, but oh, last lap with more crashes. Signs. So at least we're not the only ones who are picking up damage. I guess we can look at it that way.
Here at the first turn, the Retafilo chicane. Tries to
Congrats,
get
Jack.
by,
Well done.
and oh,
The
that's
Ferraris
obviously
touched each
far from
other.
intentional.
What a shame.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
Okay, so 13th and 16th. Not really what we
Checkered
wanted,
flag.
considering that we had a pretty good start from... You know, we started pretty much a lot higher up, so that sucks a lot. But not much we can do about that. In terms of results here, Red Bull 1-2, Ferrari 3-4, Merc, Alpine, the Astons, then another Merc and then Alpine. Verstappen has a pretty good handle now on the championship. Well, he doesn't really have a really good handle. There's just 8 points between them. So we're still going to have a fight here, which is nice to see. Constructors, though, Red Bull has gotten a little bit of an advantage, and we'll have to see if they can maintain said advantage. We are handily winning the pit stop challenge, so to speak, though, and even a mistake on Lando's pit stop there, which is a bit unfortunate. Development of this car is not going too well. The development guide that I made after I started streaming with this. This is basically my learning experience. So the McLaren car here isn't super good, but I'll be starting to, you know, put in what I've learned. Currently, the car is probably lacking quite a bit, in all honesty. So we're missing car parts, the rear wing. We're missing a suspension. We're gonna put this in, I think. Yep. And for car number 2, we're gonna be putting this one in. Again, they both broke their suspensions. We are kind of starting to... We're starting to miss a lot of parts here. So if they keep on doing this sort of damage, we're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble for sure. Hope you have a good one, Edster. See you later. I don't know how Albon just got second in quality, then turned one person out. What do you win for the pit stop challenging? If you get first place, you get 12 million to spend, which is nice. Thought I would be challenged with podiums by now, or was that totally unrealistic? Honestly, if I redid this save with the development as I figured out with the latest video, you probably could have McLaren challenging for podiums, but my development for this hasn't been close to that. As I said, this was my first foray. As soon as the game was ready, we did the 8 first races in one big sitting. So this too is basically an experimental save, which means that everything isn't really maximized. There is some how should I put this? There is some things that are lacking. So if I redid it, I could potentially challenge for podiums at the end of the season, but for this save, it's probably going to be realistic next season, potentially. Let's see, his contract is running out in 3 months. We probably do want to renew said contract because, well, I don't think race engineers are that, you know, super important in terms of keeping or not keeping. So we're just going to try and see if he wants to be here for another 5 seasons. But yeah, challenge for podiums. Again, salary isn't high enough for me. A lot of these people demand pretty intense upgrades to their monetary, you know, payouts. So we might set him a little bit, but he's happy with that. Probably gave me way more than I needed to, but it's okay. Again, head of aerodynamics here. We're probably going to switch him out. So we're not going to refresh his contract. Palu here, we could keep, but we have a bit of a promise here with a man that really want to see Vershaw. So we're going to go ahead and probably pick him up as our reserve driver instead. And he should be around here somewhere, unless I'm mistaken. There he is. So his contract too is running out, so we can just go here and propose a contract, put it into next season as a reserve for 5 seasons. He's currently being paid 1.1 million which is basically more than De Vries, unless I'm mistaken. So we'll try and offer him this one, and we'll see what that goes. Yeah, don't worry, BKK. Again, if we try and min-max maximum, we could probably make that work. So he does not like the contract length. He does not like the salary. And again, the salary for a reserve here is probably kind of a little bit too high. But we'll just try this, see if he agrees to this instead. We're getting closer on the money. Give him an extra 50k maybe. And 3 seasons. See how he feels about that. He is not happy about 3 seasons either. Does he want a 1-season contract? Because we only have 1 more chance now. I think a 2-season contract should be good here. And if he doesn't accept that, I'd be... He didn't actually. Okay. Unfortunately, we can send 1 more. There you go. If he refuses this too, I'm gonna be... Okay. So, Bashaw has decided that he does not want to, you know, drive for us. So, let's see. How do you feel about it now with 20k extra? Oh, that was what you needed, eh? 20,000 extra on top of the 1,350,000 you're making. Honestly, Bonesy, it's basically the game doesn't have any other way of saying that. Oh, I don't want to sign for that long. So they all will just say that, oh, I'm considering retirement, rather than, you know, just give a reason like, oh, the contract is too long, which is kind of silly. Don't get me wrong, but it is how the game is handling it. Okay, we are gonna have to deal with, again, we're gonna have to deal with this, but we are scouting, so we'll wait for that a little bit further. We're gonna have to deal with our warehouse. So let's have a quick look here. We're currently not manufacturing anything for the chassis here. What we could do is, again, sacrifice a little bit of cornering. Well, we're going to be sacrificing a lot of cornering to... Yeah. I think we're going to make a couple more of this one, and then we can just switch them around. Again, we're going to be spending a lot of money on just parts because we are crashing a lot. It is just what it is. Can't really deal with it. And I believe we are developing a new rear wing that will be here in 20 days. So we're going to gamble into the 2 rear wings that we have to be enough. And also, as you can see, that we have a side pod incoming. So what we want to do is probably not make any new side pods. We have enough underfloors. Suspensions, on the other hand, is a bit of an issue. So we're going to be manufacturing 3 of these. And with that, we should be okay. There we go. Side pod has been manufactured. And we're going to immediately start making new ones. Again, these are basically engine cooling side pods with a bonus top speed added. So they are not a bad thing. We're going to be making 4 of them. It's going to cost us a lot of money. But again, it is what it is. We kind of don't have any choice other than just spending this money. Now, we're also going to go ahead here and start doing a little bit of research. And mainly the underfloor is going to be our target of research. We're going to be putting ATR time into it. And we're going to be putting a lot of ATR time into it. Mainly for next season. And because of the fact that we are going to be having some hits here to these 3 in particular, because of, well, it is going to be, they're taking hits because of next season. We'll do a little bit like this for the order, which should help out. Unfortunately, you can't really see how much you're losing right now, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And as I said, we will not be making any more parts this season. We'll be kind of focusing a little bit into research as a bit of a test. I haven't really tested research out a lot in this game, which is why I'm going to do it now. Now, for research like we're doing here, actually putting more engineers on it can be very detrimental. You can see that we are losing stats. So if you want to make the most out of your money, rather than your time, just put 1 engineer on a research project and that will be more than enough. The other 2 things that we do want to research is of course going to be the front wing. That too is going to have downforce changes as well. So we will put you know, research effort in here. We'll maximize those 3. Again, gains won't be super huge, but it will help. Anything will help for next season, as you might suspect. And that's the same here. We're just not going to be putting any any extra, you know, engineers on it. It'll take what it takes. And finally, we are going to be doing probably a suspension research, because that one does get hit by regulations. What time is the Belgian Grand Prix in British time? Should be 2 p.m. British time, Pocanaldo. Should be starting in an hour and 10 minutes. Unless they delayed. Let's also focus a little bit on brake cooling, get that up for next season. So we're going to try and fix some of the issues that we had with the car. But research 2 is expensive, and finances now in terms of cost cap, we're down to just 22 million. And as I said, if we're going to buy those 2 engines, we might actually end up breaching cost cap this season. Which could actually be fun to do, just see what the, you know, the punishment is, so to speak. Sidepods and chassis in low stock. I believe we are, you know, fixing that, so I wouldn't be too worried. Financial changes. We're going to vote against this because they're stealing our money. So it seems like the regulation votes kind of are the same. Now they're kind of the same, at least for the first season, because I think I've had this in all 3 seasons I've done as the financial change. And as you can see here, more money for the top 4 teams, less money for the bottom, well, the middle 5. And we're going to vote against that because we are going to be the 6th team next season, so that we'd lose a full percentage point of our money. Imagine these contract negotiations in real life. Yeah, I'm just going to slide you 20k under the table for you to sign. Okay, race prep for Singapore. We probably will have time for this and maybe another one if we are efficient. And once again, we're just going to gamble on 10th. Although we have been losing money on these gambles lately because, well, we aren't finishing races where we should be. We're crashing a lot. So I'm not going to go aggressive this race. We're going to play it a little bit safer. We're also going to go with a quick trip here to the warehouse. And we're going to figure out what we want to install where. So currently, this one is installed on car 2. And let's be honest here, for Singapore, turning is going to be the most important thing. So we'll put that on both cars. Front wing, install on both cars. That looks good. Rear wing is good as well. Side pods, we have one new one, which we are going to be putting on probably car number 2. And we'll put this one on car number 1. So yeah, this one is focused on cooling. We lose a little bit of turning. And yeah, that's why I'm confused. Okay. So this side pod here is mainly focused on speed and cooling. Loses a bit of turning. This side pod here was more turning focused, less cooling and top speed acceleration. So that's fine. And we can install this one now on both cars. There we go. So we're almost up to scratch here in terms of the pieces, but again, money is going to be a bit of an issue. It does seem like a very much a similar game. Yeah, I can agree with that. But the rebalance, at least for the development here, is pretty good. There's no real always best option anymore, which is nice. So again, depends on what you prefer. Again, we're not going to be bothering with him right now because we have the scouting team doing their stuff. 2 scoutings in progress. When are you done? You won't tell? Secret? But yeah, we'll probably try and pick up one of these 2. The reason why it says he's not interested right now is because it's a race weekend. With that in mind though, let's head to the race. But before that, we can actually have a look at the car here because of curiosity. So as you can see, our car currently isn't very good. It's probably the 6th, 7th best car on the grid. Not great, but not terrible. But again, we do need a little bit of a help here. If we switch to car 2, it's a little bit better in top speed, a little bit worse in the cornering. So again, we do need a little bit of extra upgrades there, which will probably come next season. But again, it is what it is. Development. It's kind of an interesting subject for this game.
Our Formula 1 season.
Okay, we're actually going to have rain for Singapore. Anyone want to bet them on us destroying another car? Because I feel like it is kind of in the cards that another car is probably going to go bye-bye here. Singapore is round 16 out of 23, so I think we are going to have to buy, as I said, new engines for our boys. So we'll probably do that next race. We're going to be... not do it here when it's rainy. I don't want them to immediately destroy their new toys, which is probably what's going to happen if I did. So let's not do that. That would genuinely make me sad. Got the setups set up here for, well, there we are. And then we should get quality there. Let's see here where we were at. How are the engines? The engines are very non-existent, as you probably saw there quickly, because as you can see, the engine that we have that is best is 56%. We have this plus another 7 races to go, so 8 races in total. This one will not. This one will, like, we can make these two engines survive 8 races, and honestly, it would probably be in our best interest to do that, because we'd save money that we could use for research, for instance. So we might actually try and do something a little bit silly, like doing that, because also in terms of the standings, I don't know if we can actually see the standings here, but I think we are safely in 6th. I don't think any of the other teams can really catch up to us, so standing-wise too, we can just use these damage engines. It would probably be the smart thing to do, to be fair. So we'll have to see exactly what we end up doing there. Singapore was very crashed from last game, yeah. I'd say the chance of someone crashing is 110%. Wish we had a proper weather radar. The weather system is a lot more improved now, though. It's not longer a guessing game. We could potentially do that. Like, if we get new engines, we probably are going to end up reaching the cost cap. So we could see just what the punishment is. Although, if the punishment is lower... Wait, we have another practice here. Although if the punishment is lower wind tunnel time, it's going to really nerf us for next season, which could make this a bit of a longer and more interesting stream, I guess. But, yeah, we might just end up testing reaching the cost cap already on stream, probably in the next few days, potentially. Because we are heading that way right now, in all honesty. 7 crashes in practice and quality combined, 0 in the race. Well, they all got done with crashing while in the practice. I don't know why I can't speak. Sorry about that. Honestly, it would be fun, Jack, but again, with the way the game has kind of tried to rebrand itself as more casual friendly with the race moments and starting grids, I think that adding a complex system like that would be difficult to judge would probably be not something they would do, because they don't really have any difficulty tiers, or you can't change your difficulty. So I don't think you'd be able to change between the two systems either if they had both. So it's something we'd like to have, but at the same time, it's not something that I'm gonna add, basically because it's very complex and most people just will be confused looking at it, unfortunately. Okay, I think we're ready to start qualifying here. Yeah. The reason though, like, why they made race moments, to me is actually really, really simple. It's a way to keep the game relevant. And it keeps you interested from race weekend to race weekend. But the second reason is because it is to make the game more friendly to those who don't really enjoy the manager aspect of it, but might want to jump in, do a race or two, and then come back in a week. It's just a way to drag in a larger audience, mainly because last year's game, 22, didn't really live up to the expectations they had for sales. So they had to kind of redirect their focus.
And we are boxes lap.
Yeah, confirm.
Delta negative at the end of the lap. Okay, look after the fuel. on
Okay,
the
we'll
way
run
in.
at least once more, just to again build confidence. Yeah. Honestly, I might start doing some race moments too, here soon. I think they could be fun little challenges to see how well we could do.
Lando, you are currently P6.
Honestly, though, if they can keep on developing like this, like again, they've added complexity, they've added a lot of rebalancing, the AI is better, things like that. If they can actually add upgrades from year to year, like they have added the race moment now, they have that kind of the system, so they can really start working with other things. Yeah, better wait for a sale. Honestly, September patch, you're right with that, BKK. September, Jesus, why am I saying December? The September patch could really make or break the game. I do agree with that. It's gonna decide a lot. If we send out our car now, can we get out in a good window? I don't think we will, so we're just gonna wait. Although, yeah, we're just gonna wait. Paris is going out. Let's send Piastri with Paris. Hope that Paris shows correctly here. Send Norris out. Looks like a decent enough window. Q1 is always kind of a crapshoot with this, though. Hamilton is, luckily enough, not going to block us. That was actually kind of a clutch there for Piastri. When it's going to be 99 up, it's going to be game of the year. Yeah.
So Oscar, you're P11. Nice lap.
I can recharge on and box this lap.
Yeah, copy.
Okay, so no real improvement then, but it looks like we're still safe. Maybe. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, please don't spam. Frontier, they're a pretty big company, honestly. But most of their games do have the negative fact that it looks very complex on the surface, but as soon as you start digging, you realize it's very shallow, which is a bit unfortunate with them, but it's kind of a team in their games. Which is, again, very unfortunate, but again, it is what it is. Can't really do the thing about it.
Okay, so that's a green light.
Is chat kind of broken today? That's unfortunate.
Drive to the Delta.
Can I make a video of the cost gap breach with a different team as an experiment? Honestly, we are very close to breaching a cost gap this season, and because of the fact that we need to buy 2 engines, we're just going to be 10 million off the cost cap after that. We might just go ahead and breach it this season for, well, the sake of science. So we'll see. As I said, we might actually end up breaking it more or less immediately. So we're going to slow down a little bit here. I'm taking control because I set them basically inside of each other. And we have already gotten the tires into a kind of a good window. They're already... Oh, sorry, that is not tire heat, that's their durability. I'm blind. Let's try and heat them up here, see if we can get a good run. Break this season so we learn? Yeah. Don't worry, Dan, honestly. I think a lot of people share your opinion. Hello, Emil. You have a limited amount of safety and wind tunnel hours for every 2 months. And I usually put all of them into one part to maximize that part. Hello, Keith. Hey, hope you enjoy. Thank you. We need to conserve before we run out of fuel. That's actually also a nasty strategy you can use in quali. If you run out of fuel, it's an automatic red flag. So you can actually forcefully end a quali whenever you feel like it by running out of fuel, which is hilarious to me. That's also a bit of a nasty trick though. Like if you take manual control and run out of fuel, say right now, most cars will not be able to do any more runs as a result. So it is kind of a cheesy way to ensure that you have advantage. Don't worry. The game has so much potential to be amazing, but sadly it doesn't end up that way. Yeah, that is a lot of games though nowadays. Unfortunately, I think we are going to be out during Q2. Kind of did get blocked a lot that run. Yeah, my bad. I think we might take the engine penalties here then, but we might have to just play it safe. So, as I said, we do have some engine problems here. Mainly that we have Suzuka, we have Lusail, we have Austin. So, including today's race, we have 8 races to go. And this engine will not live that long. So, I don't know how much money we have back in the bank, but I think we are going to get those new engines now for both boys. And as a result, we are going to be breaching cost cap this season, for sure. We can actually wait with Piastri to get him a new engine, but we'll just take the penalties here since we had a bad quality anyways. So we'll take advantage over it. The thing is, though, Football Manager is a very, very old franchise. Like, it is like decades old. So if you are ready to wait until 2040 to have a good F1 Manager game, then you can feel free. You can only design one part, Emil, that uses ATR and, well, that uses wind tunnel and CFD time if you put it all into one part, but you can make as many parts as you want. It's just that they will not have wind tunnel time, so you can feel free to, you know, develop as many as you want. The main like constraint you'll have is actually your money rather than anything else. Hello, Skrina. Personally, I feel like it's worth it, but I can see why some people say that it's not worth it, honestly. So, again, it's mainly up to personal preference. So, you're going to have to make up your own mind there, unfortunately. They have added a lot more complexity. They've added some rebalances. If you like the race moments, you're probably going to enjoy this game even so. So, again, it'll depend mostly on personal opinion, which I know is kind of a boring way of saying that, of responding to this question, but it's how I feel it. Yeah, I remember you from yesterday, Formula 1. Because of the way that they do driver stats is that they take them from the start of the season, and Piastri hadn't really proven himself in Formula 1 by then, so that is why they gave him bad stats.
It's lights out and away we go.
Okay, this is going to be very interesting in terms of if we can get into point scoring position. And I see Piastri and Norris running next to each other again, and I'm getting flashbacks to, you know, dangerous. Yeah, to be fair though, they have made a lot of things that are more casual friendly, or, you know, people who play less friendly, to put it that way. And apparently my chat is just jumping up and down. Hulkenberg, I don't know why they made his stats as they are, but again, I think it's also just team bias. Drivers from worse teams, they just make a little bit worse to kind of balance things out. Okay, hopefully here we will not have any crashes, but again, that is potentially not in my hands. We'll see. Now, rain should be coming pretty soon here. We'll have to see when we jump in, but it looks like it's going to be Inters for most of it, with a potential little bit of a full wets period there. So this could be a very interesting race, particularly due to the fact that we have both our drivers inside of each other, so double stacking is going to be difficult.
Rain is expected.
Yep, all good.
Rain is now expected in 4 minutes. Yeah, I played Motorsport Manager a lot when it first came out, so
We don't want to overcook the tyres.
it was good, but unfortunately they decided to focus more on the mobile game, so kind of died. There is like a new alternative which is called Open Wheel Manager, which looks interesting, so I'll have a look at that once that comes out. It's currently in development. So that too, as I said, is looking kind of interesting. Okay, we are starting to get rain, so maybe we should not take any risks here. We could probably get one of our boys in right now, and it should still be okay. They'll still burn those inters a little bit. So since Piastri has P confidence, let's have him go high. We'll send him around once more, and we'll have Norris pit first. And again, we might be going in a bit tad too soon here with Norris because, again, it is going slowly up. But it is going to be a gamble, so we'll see if it's going to be worth it or not. We're just going to keep on pushing for this lap here to see if Norris can jump some of these guys in the pit. It's going to burn the tires a little bit. Ooh, okay, I forgot about Piastri. Yeah, I forgot about Piastri. That sucks. Hamilton stayed out though, so we're not the only ones. Did Verstappen stay out, or did he pit? No, he pitted. Norris, though, is jumping a lot of them, so the pit stop was good. But I did forget about Piastri's pit stop, so that was not good. So we are going to have to try and get Piastri in this lap. He is holding up other cars, though, so that is kind of helping Norris, which is kind of good. Will I be streaming again after the race? Probably not. I'm going to be focusing on getting a basically a beginner series done, that a speedrun series that I did last year. I'm going to be doing the same for AlphaTauri in this game, so I'll be trying to get the first part of that done, I think. Maybe I'll stream a little bit more later tonight, but that'll be quite a lot later. Okay, let's see if we can actually have a bit better results here today. That's the theme from my video yesterday? Yeah. It's almost done. I just need to get the last few races in, and then the first episode will be out. When I do the AlphaTauri speedrun, please hire Ricciardo and sack the Rees. Yeah. Hello, Willow. Welcome to Singapore. We had a horrible quali. And then I left Piastri out to dry, so yeah. You missed me being a horrible manager. Truly Ferrari strategy. Yeah, we're going to see if we can actually make something out of this race, because potentially getting in the points would be good. We have also bought 2 new engines, and we will most likely end up breaking the cost cap this season, which was going to be interesting. Yeah. Norris is getting things done at least, but as I said, we are going to have a bit of a rainier period here. So I'll have to see if this is actually going to be wet, or if it's just going to be a new set of inters, because we are going to be pitting at 1.4 a fresh set. So we'll have to see how exactly we want to deal with that. Now we are getting close up behind the behind Ocon. Well, close and close. We're still a little bit further behind, but we will be focusing on moving both our drivers up when we can. Should probably top up Piastri here too. He's kind of struggling to get by Albon. But we should be okay here. When I do the mini-series, are you thinking the speedrun series? I think I'll be explaining everything as good as well as I understand it for that, so don't worry. I'll probably be also making standalone explanations, well, guides as well, so you can probably find both of them. It's a good year for the game, as you can take over a struggling Mercedes. Go on, Norris, work your way up now, my lad. There you go. So, tuning up the tires to aggressive and pushing fuel, having ERS, does actually do wonders for overtaking, particularly in the rain. So, Norris should definitely be able to work his way up to Sergeant, and then we'll just have to see if we can work our way even further up than that. Piastri, though, is probably close enough here that we can just deploy and, you know, brush past Albon. And now Tsunoda, I would think. That is looking good. Go. For an 80 save, what's better than get down in or focus R&D because it seems highly priced. The thing is, Danny Rick wants a very high salary, yes, but at the same time you have to consider the fact that De Vries is very error prone, and depending on how he does, if he just crashes out a couple of engines, that's 10 million. So depending on if you can of course play it safe, have him do nothing, but then he'll be just sitting at the back of the grid every single race. So you have to make a bit of a, you know, a decision that you can keep the Reese but play him safe, or you can get Rick and try and get a little bit more aggressive, score a bit more points in your first season. It is a bit of an expensive investment, but it could be worth it. We save the 40 million of Rick and spend it on team. Honestly, that's not also a bad idea. But again, it'll depend, because it'll depend on the Reese performance mainly, if Rick is going to be worth it or not. If the Reese performs like an angel, doesn't destroy anything during the season, then, you know, Rick definitely is worth it. But in general, you'd expect Rick to not destroy as much as the Reese for sure. For YouTube, getting down Rick is 100% the right thing, yeah. Also, though, let's be fair, I did make a poll on it, and people did really, really want Danny Rick back, so that's what we're going to do for that. I'm also a bit interested in seeing just how he was going to perform versus Tsunoda, because De Vries just is getting, for the game where we're actually trying to get De Vries into world champion territory, he's just getting trashed by Tsunoda so badly that I'm going to have to fire Tsunoda or run Tsunoda deliberately as a teammate. I'm going to have to micromanage him as a teammate if I want to.
Yeah, locked up.
No,
Want to keep him. Okay, we have a safety car, major damage chassis from wing. That should be Piastri just straight up out. And the engine survived. But Piastri is out. Albon is apparently out with him. So we're going to actually pit Norris here. Pit him onto a new set of inters, I think. Yeah, we're going to be pitting him onto a new set of inters. And if we're lucky, we might actually jump some of them in the pit stops.
And here we've
We'll
got a
see
yellow
here.
flag.
Safety car deployed. And just trying to
If Maspin was in the game, he would win the pole.
Okay.
To be fair, I'm kind of
You can bring in the tyres. You can
sad that Latifi wasn't in the game. But we should have a really quick pit stop here, unless we have an error. We did get held up there, so we're going to lose positions, most likely. Nope, we are exactly where we were before the pit stops, so that is good. That we can accept. But we did get a little bit held up there. If we hadn't, we might have actually jumped the car in the pits there. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yeah, there's a lot of hypotheticals with the De Vries versus Rick debate, honestly. But it's like that with any driver. Let's see if we can actually get a good restart on the safety car here. So everyone has pitted for new inters, so they're most likely going to go on these inters to the end. Now, this one is if we go full burn to the end of the race, which could be doable. Let's see if we were to do this. As you can see, going aggressive versus full burn. Full burn would save us about 15 seconds. So if you can keep them within the expected drop rate here, going full burn is going to be the best strategy for Norris. Which is very interesting, because that means that unless you get into probably severe overheating, you're probably good as long as your driver has high smoothness. Which is quite interesting to me. But we're going to speed things up here, get the safety car done with, and work from there. Very long safety car. Let's just speed things up a little bit. And again, this safety car is going to allow Norris to,
Safety car will be in this lap.
as I said, go full send. We have some.
It will just be recharge off.
We do have some hope here, so we are going to go a little bit more aggressive, and you'll get the first restart lap in this view while I go and get something to drink. Sorry about that. I'll be right back.
They've been making mistakes, so let's put them under pressure.
Copy.
I am back. Sorry about that. Has Norris overtaken anyone yet? Confidence is still at an acceptable level, so we'll try and keep an eye on this so we don't, end up getting sent to the Shadow Realm immediately. Yeah, they are going to be doing probably a bit aggressive movements here on the restart. They usually do. And then they start to relax a little bit more as we go. So we're going to tune down a little bit on tire usage, save it a little bit while the AI burn theirs. And then we can, once things calm down a little bit, start making moves. You can actually see that they are just full sending it, interestingly enough. But we might actually need to do that just to keep up with Ocon here, so we're going to tune it back up. He's really sending it, but the free air here, 3 seconds, should be enough that the tire temperature doesn't go too high. That should be alright. And again, we need to try and get through these guys, get into these pockets of free air, if we want to go full attack to the end.
We don't want to overcook the tyres.
Okay, that was scary. There suddenly it was night. Apparently the lighting in this area does not work. That is kind of horrifying. I know I signed up for a horror movie. Hey, we are getting closer to Ocon right now. We are also cooking the tires quite aggressively, but still, the drop-off here isn't that bad compared to what we're expecting. Again, this is what the expected cook-off, tire in attack, so we aren't cooking them bad. We're actually looking really good. And we'll now give Norris a little bit of extra energy he needs. Again, Ocon has probably used most of his, meaning that the overtake here should be somewhat simple, and he has pulled it off very, very easily there. We can now start hunting down Hamilton and Hülkenberg. And as we get high confidence here, Norris is going to have a bit of an easy time to hunting down the rest. So the only thing we really need to keep an eye on is this right here. As long as this one doesn't get a drastic dip, we're not really losing too much in terms of cooking the tires, even though the game will tell you that we are currently severely overheating these tires. It doesn't really work like that for particularly the wet tires, as you can see. Right now they are getting a little bit closer to that dip, but at the same time, we do want to try and get the overtakes done for Hamilton and Hülkenberg before that, so we'll just stay where we are, and we'll be a bit aggressive here. Try and force our way through, and then we can run aggressive on these tires once we get into a little bit of free air. And we should get Hülkenberg here too, I think. And there we are. We can now tune it down to aggressive, just so we can save a little bit of... welcome back, darkness, my old friend. But yeah, Now we can tune him down. In theory, we do lose performance, but the funny part is that because of how this works in the game, particularly in the wet tires, as long as you have enough damp water here, you don't really lose too much performance. As you can see from the overtakes, right now we are cooling down the tires. It's going slowly, but they are getting cooler. And we can basically now just run aggressive until we get to the back of the other teams again. Because the main reason why we're gaining a lot of heat is just from running in dirty air. So currently, it's going to go a little bit better. The rate's going to go back to normal. But right here, when it started to dip, that was actually in a danger zone. So for the inters, you actually need to overcook them by about 5 over maximum before you really start to lose performance. So this seems to actually vary very aggressively from track to track too. So on some tracks, you can actually super cook the just soft tires in the same manner, and you won't really lose performance either. Hello, Cameron. Nice to see you. Singapore updated before the actual F1 game. Yeah, indeed. So right now we're back to the normal rate, and we are running almost 5/10 quicker here than Russell, so we'll be catching him too before too long. I'm a bit surprised that Hulkenberg is kind of keeping up with us though. Now that we've actually started also cooling these tires a little bit, we can just run like this, as I said for a while again, because let's face it, the Red Bulls, the Ferraris, I don't think we're catching them. They are a good 12 seconds up the track here. Potentially we could do so, but again, we also need to keep our tires alive to the end. So that is going to be the limitation. And right now we're running about the same times as Russell, just slightly quicker. So we are going to be probably tuning him up to attack pretty soon again. Again, I just want to get a little bit of tire wear back on our side, because we did use a lot of it here to get the overtakes done. You can see that we're about 10 down on the other teams, but we're still running quicker than them because we are running aggressive, which is interesting to me. We're also, of course, pushing fuel, but they should be doing the same. So it is a bit back and forth, honestly. Now that we'll just speed things along, Norris is starting to lose out a little bit to Russell and Alonso, which isn't that surprising. We did cook our tires a lot to get by the cars behind us, but once we actually have saved enough kind of wear towards the end here, we can go attack again. And we should immediately start closing that gap. We can actually do it now, I think. But this gap should close, potentially, rather rapidly. Last lap, running about the same, so not really closing. But this lap is going down a lot quicker. Temperature is going up of course, so we just need to make sure that we don't super cook them, and then we'll be okay. Last lap gained about 6/10, so we'd have to run like this for about 10 laps. And as you see, Norris is saying that his tires are severely overheating, but we are running quicker than the car in front, and in terms of degradation, it's not really outside of what is expected. So for some tires, don't be afraid to run attack, even when they are severely overheating, because you can still make it work, but it also has to do with how the track abrasiveness. If the tracks eat tires, you don't really want to do this because, well, it's just gonna speed up the tire eating. So some tracks, as I said, it's good, particularly when you have enough water to play with. Water is going down though, which is a concern. So we'll have to see exactly how well this plays out for us. It could backfire. Norris there doing a worse lap than Russell, but quicker than Hulkenberg. So we'll have to see. It's a little bit back and forth. Some new features feel like they were meant to be last year's game, but when finished, the pick page feels like last year's games with an update. Honestly, that would not surprise me. I think they had a deadline last year that they kind of had to follow, so it would not surprise me if that is the case. Low abrasive is bad, I think, and high is good. For now, though, we might need to have to tune down to aggressive again. So we probably won't be able to catch Russell, honestly. The tires just won't allow it. We use too much of it, getting by Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Ocon. But at the same time, 7th place is very much acceptable, honestly. I've seen the same Callan, by the way. It seems to be working the opposite way of what you expect, which is kind of weird. But it is what it is. It's a game. Sometimes things get wrong. Yeah.
There's a car in the wall.
We've had a crash on track. Russell. Is he going to bring out a safety car? The man that we were hunting. I was kind of expecting the sugar there. But that does give us a free 6th place, potentially. Virtual safety car. Okay, this is interesting.
Car on the wall. And there's lots of debris where the incident was.
Everyone alright?
Yes, everyone is okay.
So there's not a lot of. There's 13 laps remaining. The man that needed to crash. Yeah. For once we didn't crash though. So there's 13 laps remaining. The question now is, do we want to be very, very cheeky and do this? So let's do this too and create strategy B. Potentially this is quick. Yeah, the strategy we're currently on is quicker. So this one really benefit us, even with, I think, the VSC. Yeah, 16 seconds. There's no need to. We will not be pitting under that VSC.
Now I think this. Yes, it's Carlos Sainz.
Sainz crash too. Double bonus. Double whammy. Now I just need Perez and Leclerc. No, sorry, Perez and Verstappen to take each other out, and then Leclerc and Alonso to find the wall each. And then we get the first victory. Hulkenberg does pit. He does take advantage. Sorry, not Hulkenberg. Russell. I read wrong. But this does help us because it does actually save us some tire wear. And just so that we don't get called in the pits, we're going to change back to the B strategy. Like to nag me. We are 8 seconds behind Alonso, so we probably won't be able to catch him. Hulkenberg is 8 seconds behind us, so I think we'll just keep it as is to the end. Virtual safety car is ending.
And virtual safety car is ending.
Confirmed.
So let's see how this works. Easy game, yeah. Honestly, Norris getting a 5th here is going to be huge. That's a lot of points. I still think Alpine will be ahead of us healthily because they still have Ocon and Gasly in the points themselves. But it is going to help us. I'm going to go now and watch the build-up to the GP. You have a good rest of the evening. Thank you.
It's just strang, that's it.
Yeah, it would be easy if Piastri was in.
I'm ready, it's risky, but...
Honestly, we've thrown away a lot of points for the last 2 races just from crashing. Piastri's so bad in your save? Yeah. Watch out for rain. I think we're good still. The only thing I'm worried about is someone pitting for slicks. Honestly. Hamilton, though, is kind of on a charge, so we'll have to see if we can actually keep him at bay. They do kind of do this on, you know, safety car restarts. They use all their energy, they use all their everything, so I think it was still good. How did Piastri die? He found a wall cone and got isekai'd. He ran into a wall. Just a bit unfortunate. And the wall's name was Albon. Piastri is kind of undervalued, yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's still water on track. Inter should still be best at this rate. There's no need to pit. Ocon is bad on myself, always crashing. To be fair, I feel like everyone just has one guy that always crashes on their saves. Now, I am a bit concerned about Hulkenberg and Hamilton because they are really trucking along now. So they might have actually reversed me here. Baited me into going aggressive a bit early in the stint, and then they're going to chase me down now. Now, we still have a bit of a gap here, so we aren't really forced to push just yet. But the goal here will just be to defend this 5th place if we can. Again, hunting down Alonso is not going to be on the menu. Hopefully Hamilton and Hulkenberg slow each other down with a little bit of battling. Running into a wall in Albon doesn't seem like a very smart way to win races. Nah, like last race, our two drivers came together, and that's an even dumber way to win races. So, it's progress. They didn't hit each other this time. They hit a different team's driver. Now, if we want to win races, we're gonna need to hit one specific driver, probably Verstappen. But to start his grid walks, I'll switch to the watch the F1. I'll probably be doing the same, honestly, as soon as this race is over. So I'll be ending stream pretty shortly as well. Thank you for watching, though. Hope you enjoy the race. Have fun. But yeah, I'll be also ending the stream fairly shortly here. Basically, the pre-Spa stream is getting closer to its end. 3 laps to go. Hamilton is just 2 seconds away from us. We might need to start pushing here. We do have, of course, ERS2 that we can use. So honestly, I'm not too concerned just yet. We're just going to deploy ERS to begin with. And we're just going to keep it this one on aggressive. And that should kind of still be, I think, enough here. Now, we still have 2 laps to go because, well, Verstappen is about to start his final lap, but he's very, very far ahead of us. Cheering for anyone in particular, Spa? Piastri, maybe? Probably. See you later, Blasted. Hope you've enjoyed. Have a fun race. Other Simians, they have rebalanced the driver stats. So braking is no longer the most important stat. It's something that they have stated themselves, the developers of the game. I haven't actually had a chance to test any driver stats yet because they're all random. So you can expect them to be rebalanced. We haven't figured out which one is best yet. I'm kind of waiting for someone to make a stat editor so we can edit driver stats to easily check which stat is, most valuable. But they have done a rebalance of how the driver stats works from 22.
Good job, lots of checkers.
But I'd say
P5.
pace stats is still important with the rework to tires and tire heat. Smoothness is actually really important, particularly if you want to push the tires. So I'd say smoothness is actually way more valuable this year, among other things. Piastri's first podium isn't really a podium. It's a sprint podium. But yeah, Norris picks up 10 points here. Gasly and Ocon picks up 6. So in the grand scheme of things, we're still 20 points behind. I don't think we're going to get Alpine by the end of the season. I think we're just going to focus on next season. And as you can see, we have Haas pretty far behind too. So we're good on that. Now, we're also looking very good here for the DLH faster pit stop, which is another extra 12 million for next year, which is going to be nice. So we're looking forward to that. Unfortunately, did fail some of these goals, which is going to cost us money, which is going to be very, very sad, but it is what it is. Can't really do anything about it now. Already made the error. Anyway, you can contact me about my thumbnails. What are you thinking? You can probably join my Discord if you want and just send me a message there. If you feel like it. Luckily, this did get voted again, so if we come 6th, we won't get less money next year. That is very nice. You can probably, as I said, just join the Discord if you want to, send me a message there. That shouldn't be a problem. We're missing some car parts here. This is from Piastri just straight up crashing. So we'll put in a new chassis, and we'll put on a new front wing. Replace that. There you go. And that should actually be both cars. We're going to, of course, have to go through the warehouse again, figure out what we need, what we don't need, and work from there. For some reason, there is no grid walk. Mine is talking to fans. Okay. Has the race gotten delayed without us knowing? My drivers go backwards, 6 to 7 laps, make places, and by then the race is over. Absolutely different teams with me. The idea, what I think is actually happening is that at the start of races, the AI would just use all their ERS, all their fuel, all their everything. But they're allowed to use more of it, I think. There's no delay for the race? Okay. I guess they just decided to do things a little bit differently today then, maybe. I don't know, BKK, unfortunately. If there isn't rain, then the race, I assume, starts as normal. They might just have changed things up a bit. But I think I'm going to end this stream here, because we have the race starting in just under 20 minutes. We won't really have any time for any any more races here. We have Japan coming up next. And in terms of our finances here, we are getting very close to that cost cap reach. It won't be a problem actually to getting that done. We do need a little bit more money though to pull off that cost cap reach. So we'll be testing that probably sometime next stream or the stream after. We'll see. But as I said, I'll be heading off now. Be watching the Spa Grand Prix. And I might stream later tonight. But that's going to be really late in that case. Probably not going to stream tomorrow. Unfortunately, because I will be focusing on getting some basically YouTube videos up and running. It'll take a little bit of time. So we'll see. If I have extra time, I'll be probably streaming around the same time that I have from now. Around now. Streaming around this time. Let's put it like that. So we'll see. I'll post on my time later if I do GMT. Probably around 9 or even 10. So pretty late. But I'm probably not going to stream, Keith. It's probably it's if I get really bored and actually get things done in time, which I'm horrible at. So if I'm going to stream it, I would probably estimate it to be tomorrow. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be streaming tonight, BKK. It's just in case I do. Again, it would probably just be me jumping on for a very quick one race stream, probably less than half an hour tops. Wouldn't be a long one. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Been very nice to have you all here. Thank you very much. Again, BKK, thank you for your generous donations. It warms Piastri's cold dead engine heart. And we'll see if we can get some fun things going. So hope to see you all next time. Again, thank you. Bye bye.